Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of The Mo Show. This is Mike, your host, here on the Real Estate Success Network. As always, we start out with a quick mindset moment. And today, we're talking about, are you a salesperson or simply waiting for a sale?
Salesperson.
Hello, and welcome to another edition of Real Estate Success. My name is Mike, and today I just want to talk to you guys in preparation for our free Marketing Tuesday call. I have a question for you. Are you a salesperson or are you a person waiting to get a sale? And what I mean by that is, are you actively engaged in your marketplace trying to build your prospecting list? Because your list ultimately will get you. As a real estate professional, if you kind of think of yourself as sitting in a
I cannot hear anything.
I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Now I can.
I can.
I had the good old mute button in. Could you guys hear the audio as it was going on?
No, I didn't.
You didn't,
No,
Janet? You didn't hear it? Okay.
not
Technical
not a word.
difficulty. All right, so we'll skip on. All right, so basically, I had the question in the podcast that I had rolling. Are you a salesperson or are you just a person waiting for a sale? And what I meant by that question was simply, are you engaging with your audience or are you simply waiting for folks to try to reach out to you and to contact you? And there's a huge difference between the two. One enables you to build a list very, very fast on a consistent basis, one does not. When you're not engaged, when you're not either actively involved in the community, actively involved in organizations where you could possibly sponsor small events that are going on to be engaged with the community and build your list, that is what's going to enable you to rapidly grow your database versus just sitting back and waiting for people to contact you. Referrals are great, and referrals are a necessity. But in order to truly, truly build a business where people are consistently on an ongoing basis coming into your sphere, coming into your business, you're going to have to be engaged in your marketing. So with that being said, one of the concepts that we stress with real estate success is the fact that you want to have a theme around your marketing strategies. And so when I say theme, I basically mean a concept. One concept may be you want to target owners who are looking to sell soon. Another concept may be, or another theme may be first-time home buyers. Another theme, which we'll touch on here in a minute, may be individuals who didn't know or possibly would want to know on the fact that they could, build a house from the ground up, buy dirt, put a house on it, etc., versus buying a property that's already in existence, or maybe buying a property that needs some repairs, and they may want to hire a contractor to work with. So those are what we consider quote-unquote themes. But for the sake of this call, let's focus in on dream homes. Many people would consider the first time that they buy a house their quote-unquote dream home. The first time I bought a house, it was a dream until a couple of years later, I realized I needed a new dream. But that is a concept that could be used with targeting first-time home buyers. Empty nesters. And what I mean by from a dream home, empty nesters are now transitioning into the children are gone. They need a different type of property that fits their quote-unquote dreams today. In town, close to a lot of activities, nature trails, etc. So your images, your postcards, your social media marketing can be tailored to that particular market, and you go find that particular market so that you can draw them in. So that's what we kind of mean by on the basis of themes. So that being said, I want to make sure that everybody's on kind of the same board here. We have a small crew here. So Lucy, let me ask you, what do you think about the concept of themes and really having something strategic with your marketing and your marketing strategy when directing it towards sellers? Have you done that in your business before, or have you just kind of been, only focusing on market values?
No, I was doing walking door to door.
Okay.
I was sending mailing. I was doing open houses.
Okay.
Walking door to door and inviting neighbors for open houses. Walking door to door where I live, we are small towns.
Mm-hmm.
Certain towns you cannot do door to door walk.
Mm.
In certain towns where I am in, you need a quote unquote peddler's license in order to go door to door.
Mm.
In other instances, many times the homes have gates since they are very expensive. They will not let you in, or just the staff that works over there is at home.
Gotcha.
I was also calling Facebooks. I was calling expireds.
Mm-hmm.
I was at one time yelled at, saying that I am a spammer, yelling at me having their number.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was scared because nobody ever yelled at me, and I just said thank you, and I hung up because
Gotcha.
I never counted it. So it's not that easy for me to do that. Most of the people have unlisted numbers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is the challenge that I have. I was walking door to door. I was leaving also for Facebook. I made a big envelope with some information they like to receive. I assume they like to receive about the market, a little bit about me and what I could offer for them. I never had a response from that.
Gotcha.
I was leaving business cards. I knew people were at home. They never opened the door. because
Okay.
probably they didn't know who I was. So I was really not successful in any of these. So this is like discouraging for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to give up.
Gotcha. Let me chime in here for a second. You know, with a strategy, as we talk about here, and having a theme for your strategy. You know, the holidays are coming up, so thinking of strategies around the holidays, and maybe introducing your audience or your neighborhood to savings. You know, holidays are coming up. There are websites that are going to be having savings. There are, you know, many retailers are listing in different places on different websites, you know, kind of the things that they're having going on. And, you know, just pulling together a couple of websites on a quick one-page newsletter, when on the backside you have some market data, is a good reason to go door knocking, because you're providing more than just information about real estate. It's something that people can connect with, even if they are in the market or not. So, but one thing I did want to, before I roll on, I want to ask a couple other folks this question. You have to be consistent. So doing it once, you have to, door knocking and anything that you do from a marketing standpoint, you want to do it on a consistent basis. So if you decide that once a week is right for you, if once a month is right for you, whatever the frequency, the higher the better, and you have to keep it consistent. So,
Okay.
Janet, I wanted to ask you, have you used any quote-unquote themes in your marketing within your business, focusing in on, you know, kind of a concept like a dream homes, or maybe first-time home buyers in town, et cetera? Have you done any of that kind of strategic marketing before?
I think subconsciously, the marketing that most of my real estate career have been towards attracting buyers.
Gotcha.
In any form or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And the listings that I have received over the years were 99% referrals.
Gotcha.
I didn't really market towards that particular group.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure, that wasn't planned. That's just like how it worked out for me.
Mm-hmm.
So, but of late, I don't know if this would be considered what you're talking about. I am doing the Did You Knows.
Gotcha.
Which is targeting both buyers and sellers, and even renters.
Gotcha.
So,
gotcha.
And just to say too, now that we are in the third quarter, I'm going to be, my goal between now and the end of the year is to generate as much new business as possible, just to excite people about how healthy the market is becoming. You know, home prices are on the rise, equity back in the home, interest rates potentially going up. So just to excite people so that the first quarter could be, you know, healthy. So if I'm hoping that's what you're saying, because
yes,
that's kind of what I'm doing.
Yes, you are. And here's a couple of insights, and this is for our whole audience too. What I've learned, the more focused I am with the message, the more people I attract. And the better I get about being, and the more right people I attract too, because, you know, a lot of times with a wide kind of a marketing message, you end up attracting sometimes people who are not necessarily, you know, the persons that you want to do business with, or the best people to do business with. And I think that for you, the Did You Knows, like you said, you have them kind of attracting for both. You could possibly have a real, maybe you take the next month or two and you focus those videos only on sellers. And here's why, because, you know, we all know, we've all read the books, listings lead to buyers, buyers don't lead to listings. And it just makes sense. And so if you focus your energy on the Did You Knows for sellers in a particular neighborhood, Now it gets a lot more strategic because it may be a did you know about a community event, it may be did you know about traffic improvements that are coming up, it may be did you know about a potential tax hike that's coming up next year in this particular area or zip code. And if you kept it broad, you wouldn't be able to kind of laser in like that. And then you can double back because you have very specific videos. Maybe now you sponsor a small event that's going on in that community, or maybe one day you get out and you pass out some one-page newsletter, has some market updates, plus the did you knows. And you have your web address or your podcast address, and now people can kind of go back there and get more did you knows that are specific for them. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yep.
Because
yep.
like I said, I was doing just that, and was really just attracted to predominantly buyers. So you're right. Whatever you put out there is what you attract.
Exactly.
Totally right with that.
Yep. Here's another one, and then I'm going to move on to Brad. Executives and high net worth individuals. And here's why I say these guys, because a did you know series to executives could be completely different, but on the same content. Maybe for those business owners in the area, and I think you were part of a mixer group, they may be kind of concerned, or they may take into account kind of what's going on in the area from employment, our new businesses coming in the area, are things going on in the business community, and you can have a couple of did you know type videos directed towards that audience. And so, in your email list, you're able to kind of, pick and choose who you send that to, and now that message is crafted directly for them. And what happens is, because it's information that business owners know, well, business owners know other business owners, and, they end up sharing that information with their other business owners in the area. So the marketing becomes a lot more effective and laser targeted when you kind of do it from that approach. And you can kind of slice and dice it anyway. So let's jump over here to Brad. Hey, Brad, you're on the Mo Show. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. I know you are a newbie, and kind of looking. I'm assuming kind of looking for some ideas on, what you can do with your marketing. So far, do you have any questions on what we kind of talked about, having a strategy and a theme for your campaign versus just kind of going out there blanket?
No questions right offhand. I mean, as you mentioned, I'm extremely green to this industry. I mean, I've been a part of retail financial services for the last 15, 20 years, but this is a completely different side of the fence for me. Coming out of more of a collections department, servicing mortgage loans, now I'm sending them to that department, right? I hope.
Gotcha.
From a marketing standpoint, I mean, we've got a great team leader that has a lot of sponsorships and marketing put out there for herself.
Gotcha.
And her team grows. She's now starting to come up with marketing materials for just, for the entire team as well.
Gotcha.
Everything I'm seeing right here, everything I'm listening to everybody discuss is, I'm trying to write it down verbatim so that I can kind of hit the street. I mean, this is really the first week I've got to start hitting it pretty hard. I finally have all of my cards and signs and all that good stuff. And I don't know that I have a lot to offer on this particular call. I certainly appreciate you letting me be a part of it, and I'm going to
no. You're good.
Part of the future, but I'm excited. So whatever you guys do. Go ahead.
Actually, I'm glad you bring that up about you being the newbie, because here's the thing: even seasoned professionals, we sometimes forget things that we know, if that makes sense. And so it's always good to kind of hear it come back up. But for you, if you're looking at this list, I wrote down, quote unquote, some themes that an agent could kind of take on and even kind of focus on this dream home concept, because a dream home is nothing but, hey, buy a home, and I talked about it a little bit more in depth in terms of maybe looking to buy dirt and build a home. But at the end of the day, a dream home is a different way of saying, hey, are you looking to buy or sell a home? Just sounds different.
Right.
It causes you to think that there must be something more behind it. But for yourself, I tell you, this is kind of a strategy that I'll lay out to you as starting out. But if I were starting out today, I would go around and introduce myself to probably 5 to 10 businesses in my target market. And when I say target market, I mean the area of about 500 to no more than maybe 1,000 homes personally. Introduce myself to, the insurance guy, the financial services guy, the tax guy, the family restaurant guy, et cetera. And I'd let them know, hey, I'm a new real estate agent in the area. Just going around and introducing myself to all the small business owners, et cetera. Want to build a relationship, get their contact information, phone number, and then probably a week or so later, maybe follow back up and ask them to do like an interview. Hey, I'm putting together a newsletter. I'm putting together some social media posts directed towards our community, and I just simply want to get some good information on some of the businesses that I've been introduced here, and I want to share it with the community. Those guys will be ecstatic because it's basically free marketing. And then simply once you have maybe gotten 5 or 10 interviews with those small businesses, sharing their information to the marketplace, maybe via Facebook groups, et cetera, or Facebook ads that maybe you've done, then you go back with a one-page newsletter saying, hey, on this side is just a list of all the businesses that I met and did an interview with. It's got the web address, their phone numbers, et cetera. It's something that I'm going around to these 5, 10 businesses that I've met and giving it to them so that they can have it on display and give it to their customers, because on the flip side, it has some information about the market. So one side is information about some quality businesses in the area, and then the other side is some information on the market. And then you take that same one-pager, get it copied at Kinko's, or FedEx store. It probably costs you no more than maybe $100. Go around to all the homes in that area and say, hey, just want to give you this one-page newsletter. It's got some market info, as well as it's got some information on some of the quality small businesses in the area. And then that's how you start the conversation.
Okay.
It's my 2-cent opinion. So, all right, with that being said, let's continue to move on here. All right, so with the theme of your list, you want to be creative. As you can see here, we have kind of a picture of plans for a house. Again, kind of falling into that dream home concept. If I were doing some marketing as a real estate agent, I'd identify maybe 500 homes that I want to send a postcard to, telling them, hey, you don't have to buy an existing home. You can buy dirt in the neighborhood, and you can do just this. Build it to your specifications. If you know anybody who may be looking to sell or buy their dream home, give me a call. So that's just the kind of concept or creativeness you possibly want to use. And we already had talked about some with the newsletter, etc. Now, as you collect email addresses, you want to keep it very, very, very simple. Starting out and even throughout your growth as a real estate professional, you want to keep your database extremely simple, because we can all get sold. I have as well. I'm sure some of you have. You can get sold on these sophisticated CRM systems, where at the end of the day, you need an email platform that you can communicate with various sectors of your email list, and you need something to be able to keep notes on an ongoing basis on your contacts that you have, and be able to keep some additional information such as birthdays, et cetera, and maybe get reminders. Outside of that, it's like an upgrade to a car where you're adding leather and a moonroof and that kind of a thing. Do you really need it? You just want something basic. Any questions on, let me make sure everybody's unmuted here. Any questions on email marketing and platforms, et cetera? I know it can sound simple to me and to others, but does anybody have any kind of questions on that you want to chime in with now?
I would have.
Okay, go ahead, Lucy.
If I want to have additional email addresses to people that I don't have in my base yet, Is there any way to obtain them without the direct contact and them giving it to me? I cannot have it.
Yes, you can buy lists. Here's the thing. Somebody that's, number one, is spamming. But even more importantly, somebody who you haven't engaged with, what would be their motivation to, look at or view your email? I mean, we already get enough email and Facebook posts and dings and all that kind of stuff, and your email is simply another one that would be coming. And in addition to that, they wouldn't know you. They wouldn't know you from, they would know you from the paint on the wall. Yeah. So, me personally, I'm not saying it's the right or wrong thing to do. I personally don't invest money or time in collecting email addresses that haven't been given to me.
Okay. Is there
Brad,
any program you would
sorry.
recommend a good CRM? I don't have the plan. I am not in a place that I have so much support, technical support. So this is my biggest issue.
Gotcha.
I want to do, and I know what I want to do. Mm-hmm. However, my technical low bearing is stopping me from doing it, and this is very frustrating for me. The
easiest CRM platform that I've used, you can get 500 contacts for free. It's called Zoho. That's Zoho contact. Just type that in Google. As a matter of fact, I will show you if you're looking at the screen. It will...
Okay, I see that.
It's called Zoho Contact Manager, and like I said, it's free for the first 500 contacts. And as you can see, it's a very, very easy, user-friendly kind of an interface platform, and it'll do everything that you need it to do right now and probably forevermore. So, yeah. And you can track 10 deals. So a deal would be a listing or a buyer that you are working with. For $15 a month, you can go up to 10,000 contracts and 1,000 deals. So you would be considered a mega agent if you would be paying for the $15 a month.
Okay. Thank you so much. I have another one, and I was thinking about it. I just don't know the opinion of others if they used it. My Outdesk. What do you think about this?
You know what? I'm not familiar. I'll be honest with you. I'm not familiar with Outdesk. Janet or Brad, have you heard of Outdesk before?
No.
What's it called? Outdesk? No.
No.
My OUT desk. It's a real estate virtual assistant. Since I am technically challenged, I thought about maybe using them to help me out with it.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's like a virtual assistant service. Mm-hmm. Good. That's a good question. I'm actually, I got some guys scheduled later on this month to talk about virtual assistants. So, good question. We'll be talking about that later on in the month.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. No problem. So moving on from
I don't know what your budget's like, but maybe like if you can get the assistance of a high school kid, to help you with some of your technical challenges. They usually, like my 15-year-old, knows a lot more than I can ever hope to know.
Yeah,
so that might be an idea.
I was thinking about it. So I was thinking going to school and just ask if they could recommend somebody, because I don't want from the street and doing
your friends.
I wouldn't know what they are doing. I would want somebody that I could trust.
Yeah.
No, that was that was a great suggestion, Janet, about teenagers, local school. Absolutely, try that out, Lucy. Yeah, try that out. And if you don't, go to 2 schools, and I guarantee you'll get there'll be somebody in the front office that will know of a tech wizard in that high school who would be stoked to help you out for $10 an hour, $12 an hour. He'd feel like a rock star.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
This is invaluable. I was thinking about it, but I was thinking more from the people that I know. They have children. Unfortunately, now they're all in college.
Gotcha.
So, and it didn't occur to me to go and look for somebody else, and I didn't know.
Go to high schoolers.
Right. Okay.
So So moving on to some growth hacks, what I consider some unique strategies for list building. That now, at first take, they may seem counterintuitive, but let's just talk about them for a minute. The first one that I want to talk about is giving away info to FSBOs and expired, doing the top 10 list. You can do a webinar, podcast, Facebook post, blog, direct mail letter, etc., highlighting the top 10 things that a FSBO or expired listing can do to quickly sell their home. The first 1 through 9 of those items would be tips, suggestions, tricks that does not include a real estate professional. It's simply giving them ways and ideas on how they could facilitate a sale on their own.
Okay.
Tip number 10 is if tips 1 through 9 don't work for you or it's taking you too long to sell your home, please give me a call. I'll be more than happy to come over to your home, give you, no obligation, comparative market analysis, and talk to you about some strategies that I, as a licensed professional, can bring to you to help you sell your home. So the 1 through 9 could be, hey, make sure that you have great curb appeal, because that's the first thing that a potential buyer sees when they come up. Okay. Number 2, make sure that you do open house. Open houses work. Make sure you use plenty of signs. Tip number 3, make sure you use plenty of signs when you're advertising your home. Tip number 4, make sure you use as many online platforms as you can, nationwide platforms, and platforms that real estate agents use require a license, but there are some platforms that are designed for sale by owners. As a matter of fact, here are 2 that I've researched, and I think they may work. Tip number 5, make sure that you remove all your personal items from the home, so when people come by and take a look, they can see themselves and not your family.
Okay.
And so that information given to a FSBO or expired listing will, in essence, it will set them back, because no other agent is going to be telling them, hey, here's how you can sell your home on your own. Here's the valuable information that I tell clients when I sit down with them. But you know what? I'm about you being successful. I want to see you, have a successful and safe transaction. Maybe they don't have enough equity in their home, but they'll remember you and they may refer a friend. But what will happen more than likely, they'll go through steps 9 and 10. They'll say, you know what? Screw it. I don't want to deal with it. Hey, nobody else sent me anything like this, or I saw your free webinar online, and, no other agent was giving out free information to folks trying to sell their home, by themselves. I'd like you to come over and talk to my house. You seem a little bit different. That's what you gain by giving away those free information to a FSBO and expired listing. So I know I got a couple seasoned professionals on the phone, so we'll start with Janet. So Janet, what do you think of that strategy?
I'm really sorry. I will never, ever, ever do anything to talk about. Never. I would not give them my time of day. Because, my thought is, if you feel that you can do the same thing as a licensed person, then I'm not going to help you.
Gotcha.
I spent hours and money getting this license. It's a profession that we're talking about selling probably your biggest asset. This is not a toy. This is not something that a non-professional should try on their own. I'm not trying to help you in any form or fashion. I may help an expired because they obviously at one point worked with a real estate professional, and for whatever reason, usually the price, it didn't sell. But a FSBO, absolutely not. I mean, you don't see any other, like a doctor or a cook giving you all the things to put in the recipe to make the cake that great. And by the way, if you can't make the cake as good, can't get it the way you want it, then call me. So that's just me, the competitive side of me.
Uh-huh.
I'm not helping you.
Gotcha. And you know what? I appreciate your differing thought because there's no right or wrong way. But here's the thing: there is a doctor who gives away a whole bunch of health tips. His name is Dr. Oz. I don't know if you've heard of him or not.
Who?
Dr. Oz.
Dr. Oz?
I'm being funny. But yeah, his show, they give away a bunch of great health tips and information, et cetera, et cetera.
But he's got a show where
exactly.
I'm sure he's a multimillionaire. He's got a show in exchange for all of that. He's not doing it for nothing. He's got a show. He's on TV. He's a well-known national, maybe international name. So he got something in exchange for that.
This is true. This is true. But if you were the real estate professional in your neck of the woods who was known to give away just a one-pager, or you had a 20-minute webinar that you developed and you sent out a postcard to those FSBOs and expired, hey, the top 10 ways on how you can sell your house fast yourself, that'd be different. You may become known as this show within your neighborhood. So it's just a different perspective. I'm always the other side of the coin person. So, but no, you bring up some very good points. Very good points. Lucy, what do you think? I know you seasoned professional. Would you give away some free information to FSBOs and expired?
You see, in difference, yes, I would.
Okay, tell me why.
I would approach and I would offer something, but not too much.
Okay.
Would make them feel that they want more information, and without reaching out to me, they won't get it.
Gotcha.
At one point, somebody even suggested, which I don't necessarily agree with, offering maybe to do open house for them, but all the people coming to open house would be the agent's clients.
Gotcha.
The homeowner wouldn't take any information on these people.
Gotcha.
But the other person said, okay, if the house would sell during that open house, what would be the real estate agent's commission, if there would be any? So I guess this would have to be arranged before even offering something like that. These are just the thoughts that some other colleagues of mine had. I never did it myself. I called a couple of them, but I called them when I saw them first time that came as FSBO on the market. Driving by, they didn't want to talk to any realtor. So I drove by and I asked also what the price. I would never list at that price that they wanted.
Gotcha.
So I didn't approach them anymore because I wouldn't just try to sell at that amount.
You know, you brought up a good point about the open house. It's funny. I did a podcast call with a young lady by the name of Michelle Denise Petaway maybe a week and a half ago, and she came up with a concept of real estate agent can be the open house person. Well, that's all they do. Other agents pay them, a nominal fee to basically coordinate an open house, and so that could be a service that could be offered to a FSBO or an expired who's looking to transition into being a FSBO. And you simply say, hey, I'll do all the marketing, advertising, my signs, etc. And to your point, the people that come here, they're my leads, and you pay me, $250 or $300 or whatever you think would make a good weekend's paycheck, maybe the car note, and that could be a strategy in which you could develop your database, doing open houses, getting paid by the FSBO to do it, so you're not out of money, as well as you're building leads. So just a thought. If you kind of look at things from a different angle, you may come up with a new opportunity. So let's check to see what Brad has to say. Brad, do you have any thoughts on that concept that I mentioned about giving away free information to a FSBO or a expired?
I do, and I think I can offer a completely different perspective than the other two ladies. Is being brand new in this industry, and this being something that I've sought after for a number of years, and finally jumped off the cliff and decided to spend all this money to become and spend all this time to become an agent. And I can certainly understand that with all the schooling I've gone through, with all the literature I've had to read, with all the money I've had to pay, that no, I certainly don't want to give away something for free. But at the same time, if I feel like that's going to generate something down the road, whether it be a referral or maybe they call me for their next dream house, as you so put earlier, I myself, I'm on my third dream house. So, and I've used a different real estate agent each time. And that was because I was kind of green to the whole thing. I mean, I meet friends in this circle, and one of them's an agent, and therefore I'm going to use them on this house and so forth. And now I'm that person. Now I want my group to come to me for their real estate needs. And right now, starting out, I have no money. I've spent all my money on my school. So I don't have a lot of cash flow to go out and do the newsletter or to do the marketing cards and the mailers. And all I really have right now is what is free for me to get started until I can make that first contract go through. And Facebook for me right now. I've got a page. I haven't really put it out there because I like the idea of what you had mentioned earlier in regards to going around to the local businesses, which I know a lot of already. But I have to be careful not to step on my team leader's toes as well, so I'll take some leadership from her as well. But I think I have this starred, and I wrote over it several times to bold it out. But I think it's a good idea, especially for somebody like myself. Maybe I think her name was Mary. Is that right?
It was Lucy.
Lucy. I think that for someone like Lucy, who's obviously well seasoned in this market and industry, and maybe she's offered some free advice in the past and it didn't work well for her. Her area might be completely different. Her area, I'm in a very homey area where everybody still likes to go into town, like the Griffiths, and go to the local candy store. So we have that tight knit kind of family feeling here in Roanoke, and that is something that would probably help for somebody in my position in this particular area. And that's certainly something I want to bring up to my team leader to see if there's something that she can do to maybe help me out get started. Maybe she pays for it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how all that works yet. Like I said, I'm 7 days into this. So Gotcha. Me personally, absolutely. Because if you're offering me something for free, I'm going to jump on it, whether it's something I really need or not. And I hear the word free, and therefore I will perk up a little bit, and you at least have my attention. And that allows me to come in and give you my pitch at that point. So if I can get someone to perk their ears up because I'm offering this for free, they're listening to me now. It might take talking to 10, 15, 100 people. I just need one of them to sell their house with me or to buy the next one.
Exactly. It's a numbers game. It absolutely is a numbers game. So, it's nice to have a newbie and a couple seasoned perspectives on the call. So, actually, you were speaking of Janet. So, the next one.
And I hope to be in Janet's position someday where I could say, no, I'm not giving anybody anything for free. I do. But right now, I'm not in that position. I'll offer up, anything. I live in central North Texas, and I've told people I would drive to Brownsville or the Panhandle to sell a home at this point.
I got you.
Yeah.
So
can I just give Brad a couple of really quick tips?
Sure, go ahead, Jen.
I understand what you said, and it does make sense. When I started in this industry, what I did when I started in this industry 12 years ago is not the same things that I would do now as a seasoned agent. So yes, I totally understand, and your position where going after what is free, is the best solution for you right now. I also want to tell you that one of the best ways to learn this business is by working with buyers, because when you are working with buyers, you're going to be following them from the beginning to the conclusion, and you're going to learn every step of the way what it takes from the time they find the house to the time that they close. When you're just doing listings, all you really get is, and I'm not saying listings are great, but I'm just saying for learning right now, when you're doing listings, you just get that marketing that you're doing to find the buyer, and then, once you do have the buyer, then you're at the closing table. So you're going to learn a lot from this business by working with buyers. And the more you do that, is the more you're going to learn. And, it sounds like you're working within a team. Do all their open houses, shadow them when they're working with buyers, anything like that where you can just get a feel for working with that group. I'm also going to recommend, and Michael is familiar with this group, for $20 a month, this is the best investment that you can ever make. KCM, Keeping Current Matters. That will keep you educated on the real estate industry. He does it in a fun way, lots of illustrations, and so because when you're talking to people, you want to sound like you know what you're talking about. And when you listen to these KCM webinars, it comes in webinar form. You can just get the audio, lots of illustrations for $20 a month. In a very short period of time, you're going to be very knowledgeable about the real estate industry, maybe even more so than your broker, believe it or not. So do that coupled with working with, buyers in whatever form you can get that. You're going to start learning this craft pretty quickly. I have a 22-year-old son who's going to be joining me next year, and this is exactly the same advice I'm going to give to him.
And I really appreciate that, and I think that's kind of what I am doing. So I'm really glad to hear you make that as a recommendation, because that was exactly my thought process. Is that I don't really feel like I'm prepared to list a house and get out there and market it, because that does cost a little bit of money to do that. And so right now I've done some research, and I've been hounded by bully companies that want me to sign up with them for marketing, such as Yodel. I think I posted something out there on the Facebook page, Mike, that one of our group members had put a suggestion out there for me to go out and research them, and I did, and I'm very glad that I did that and made the post, because I could have gotten scammed pretty bad with that group. So I think I really do want to focus on the buyer part of it to start off with, Janet. I thank you again for that advice.
Yeah, just keep it simple. Yeah. Keep it simple. Don't try and do all the sophisticated stuff. You're just started. You're going to fail. So keep it simple, just like a baby. You crawl, you walk, and then you run. Don't try to run straight away, because it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So
my
intention
this week.
You should be good.
My intention this week is to first off join this call when I got the invite for it, and then take as much advice as I can, and as you said, shadow my team as much as I possibly can. In fact, I did sign up one of their open houses for next week, and I also coach youth baseball. So through the month of October, I'm pretty booked on the weekends. But after that, I told them that I will take every open house you have and work it from 6 a.m. to midnight if I have to. I don't care. But the other thing I'm looking to do, and I just haven't found where to buy them yet, but I need to figure out which company I go with to purchase leads for a very inexpensive cost, obviously, because I am limited on what I can spend right now. So I'm hoping to be able to find a decent company, whether it be Realtor.com or some other websites out there that offer valuable leads.
There are plenty of resources for lead gen in terms of being able to subscribe and get leads. But you said a couple of things that you may have overlooked that I want to make sure that I highlight back to you as well as to our audience, because you don't necessarily need to go out and spend money now. One thing that you said, you're coaching the month of October, so you're coaching baseball. All of the parents should be folks that, hey, how you doing, et cetera, et cetera. Just want to let you know I started a new career as a real estate agent, and, I'm working with a great team, so I have a lot of great support. So in the event that you know somebody who may be looking to buy or sell, please keep me in mind. Here's my new business card. Can I get your email address so that I can add you to some community updates and market updates? These are folks you already know. they're going to be much more effective in terms of building your list than possibly what you may pay and get now. That's my 2-cent opinion. As well as you also mentioned that you know a lot of the small businesses in the area. So between those two, between the baseball community and the small businesses in the area, you simply just gotta, put a little bit of, make sure you got some rubber on those shoes and a little bit of gas in the tank, and go out and make some introductions and just have a couple conversations.
I wouldn't mention the word new. I wouldn't give my house to sell to somebody who's new. Just say, you could say what your suggestion. I just want to emphasize being new. Nobody really wants to hear that when it's a big deal like, buying and selling a house. So you could do what you suggested. I just want to emphasize that I'm new.
That's true.
Fake it till you make it.
There you go. There are 2 other callers on the line. If you guys want to chime in, just hit *6 on your phone. I'll be able to see you and bring you in. But we got a couple more minutes here. There are 2 more points here that I wanted to wrap up or to talk about from a growth hack standpoint. Interesting people and topics. So go around and do interviews. One of the foundation here, Real Estate Success, that we talk about is podcasting, which a podcast allows you to basically do what we're doing right now. You could do a podcast standing in front of someone. You're dialed into your phone and you're using your phone as a microphone, or there are applications. You already have a voice recorder on your phone that will record a quote-unquote interview with you and another person. But interview interesting people on interesting topics. Again, schools, the mayor, the county commissioner's office, all of that matters. And here's why. Because when people buy homes, they buy the house, but what they really, really, really buy is the neighborhood. They buy the community. They're buying the fact that, oh, wow, there's a bunch of restaurants nearby so that when we're hungry after a long day's work or the weekend, I can take my family to the restaurants, to shopping nearby. There's a theater. There's trails and things to walk and to be, active. And the schools are good. That's what people are buying. The houses, the houses are after fact, but people truly, truly buy the community. So if you provide good information on the community, regardless if somebody's looking to buy or sell at that particular moment, you still possibly will have their ear. Any thoughts on that? Connecting the community? Janet, go ahead.
We just have to be careful when we talk about community and pushing a particular community. It's just really a fine line. Mm-hmm. It's called steering. So we can maybe talk about things in a community,
correct,
in a particular community, but not push the community as a whole. We've got to be really careful with that.
Absolutely, absolutely. More, you're doing more highlights. You're not saying this is the school district to go to. You're saying, hey, I'm here talking to.
Or you can't even say this is a great community because the other communities are not really great. But you could say in this community there is a rec center, and and in this rec center they have blah 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 blah, and talk more about the rec center and where it's located, but not really, say, this is a great community per se. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Let me see. Lucy, did you have anything to chime in with that on in terms of?
Right. I call it style of living. And also when you meet with the buyer, you ask them what they are exactly looking for. Also, if they have in mind any of the towns or locations they would like to settle in. And based on what the priorities are in the purchase, the commute or the schools or style of living, you tell them where within so many times on your list you could find in particular towns and this.
Right.
Correct.
So you're leaving the line open for them. It's not that you are steering them. I know we cannot do that.
You're just opening the door.
Interview with them, the first interview, you know exactly what they are looking for, so you can search the properties and see if the particular community is offering the things they are looking for.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a great point, Lucy. There's one other caller. Again, if anybody's on the line, then you can simply hit *6, and we'll be able to answer any questions. So let's see here. Hey, this is Mike. I got a 619-948.
Yeah, it's Andrew.
Hey, how are you, sir? You want to chime in on this combo?
What's the baseball coach guy's name?
Brad.
Brad. You know,
Yes.
I had a couple comments for him if we can.
Yeah, go ahead, Andrew.
Brad, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, anyway, on his decision, a huge opportunity if he's the coach of that baseball team. I mean, the simplest way to get in contact with every one of those parents, and don't even mention real estate at this point, just get their information by telling that you want to, every week after the game, write a short review of the game and highlight each of the players of what happened and just email it off to the parents. And they'll get used to seeing your effort as well as used to reading and opening your email. 3 or 4 emails in, you just start adding in some information about your other business. You never even have to tell them that you're new, and let them see it on the back end. So you've got a platform to talk to them by being the coach of their kids' baseball team. They already love you to a point and respect you. So all you have to do is connect with them, and then start offering them your product on the back end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's a great idea.
Yeah, that's a Brad. I think that was that was the $1 million answer for you right there. And make that suggestion to the other coaches. And I don't know how small the network of coaches that you may have or may be working with, but if it's a small group, within maybe your division, et cetera, you could kind of be that guy who maybe starts the division little newsletter, and you may kind of have some little, highlights, et cetera, over the month, or you may have some, awards, et cetera, that are given out at the end of the season, sponsored by the local, burger place, and that will, in essence, give you that platform that you'll need. As an agent, as Janet said, don't say new, just say, agent, establishing yourself here in the community, et cetera. So,
Yep.
wow. Go ahead, Brad.
Yeah, I don't have new included in any of my bio information, so I definitely agree with that. And that last recommendation is certainly underlined. We do not do a weekly newsletter. We do send a recap after each game, letting the parents know what to talk about with the kids. We, like this weekend, we made it to the championship, so the newsletter that we'll be sending out tomorrow is obviously going to be, show off your rings and have fun and smile, come back for practice on Wednesday, and let's hit it just as hard. So I think having a recap on Junior did this, and we're proud of him for this moment. And like you said, 3 to 4 emails in, I start kind of working my DFW Legacy group into the mix. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, excellent.
Thank you very much.
You can do the same thing. You could do the same thing by walking around to the teams that you're playing and say, hey, look, I do a quick recap about this. I'd love to send it to you. And and then you just talk about the game itself. Hey, boom, boom, boom. This is what we saw, good and bad. So as your kids growing and their team is growing, this is what we saw going on. All of a sudden, every weekend you're gaining 10, 20, 30 emails to your list.
Yep.
All people in your community.
Yep. And I'll make this parting note. Here's how you even take it on another notch, Brad. And this is for everybody. You just have to find your subject matter, but this is for everybody. When the off season comes, hey, here are some tips that your son that your kid can be doing to help improve their game during the off season. And by the way, as Andrew mentioned, I help buy and sell homes here in the area. Yeah, you could be that baseball guy. You could really connect in with all the local local leagues and kind of do some big stuff, and that be your generation. That would be your list building pool right there. So
your niche as a baseball coach, you could have, once the season ends, have a once a month casual game that you kind of run.
Yeah.
And now now you're in contact with the parents again because they're dropping them off. Yep. They're looking at your email because they want to see when they can drop their kid off to play some baseball.
Yep. There you go. So that being said, guys,
monthly clinics. I like it.
There you go. And you could do webinars. I mean, you could do it online. So, the sky's the limit. Just get creative with it. Stay tuned in to Real Estate Success. And, hopefully, as you see, we got a lot of good people here in the group. I try to drop a cent or two, but we have a lot of good people that bring a lot additional value to the group. So make sure you chime in and ask those questions. So with that being said, guys, I want to appreciate you. I apologize for going over a little bit, but I think we had some really great content that came up at the end to spark our call. And so with that being said, I appreciate you for joining us for another edition of the Mo Show on the Real Estate Success Network. We're our free Marketing Tuesday call, and we'll have this posted in the Facebook group here soon. So you guys make it a great day. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.